Hello there. So I'm about ready to head to a masquerade ball. That's why I'm all dressed up all fancy and creepily, because it's a Halloween thing. But before I went out, I decided that, of course, I should sit down and make a video about racism. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I saw a couple of tweets on Twitter the other day that, like, everyone and their mother was sharing around from Tyler Oakley about racism. Now, I honestly, upon seeing his tweets, did not know how to feel. I had mixed emotions, so I decided to take to Twitter and put out a poll and see what you guys thought, and it was pretty clear that the majority of you, or at least 3/4 of you, thought what he said was not, in fact, true. You did not agree that sexual preference to a specific race necessarily means that you're racist towards other races. And I mostly agree. I think it is possible to say things like this in a way that comes off as racist. Like, sometimes you go to dating profiles and it says, you know, don't even bother if you're black or Asian, or don't even bother if you're a white person. I don't know. Honestly, if I saw that on somebody's dating profile that I was possibly interested in, I would be like, oh, okay, well, thank you for the giant flag saying, don't date me. Thank you for the warning that you're kind of an ass. But overall, I think it's kind of messed up to call people with certain sexual preferences racist. Just because they don't want to bone you doesn't mean that they don't think you deserve equal rights. But anyways, I want to show you guys the tweets and see what you think about it. The first one that he tweeted said, "Psst, saying an entire race of people is not your type isn't just a preference, it's racism. Not here to argue, just informing." Well, my first reaction to this is that you kind of are there to argue. You can't put out an inflammatory tweet like that and expect no debate to occur. Then he followed up and said, maybe instead of replying to this to justify your racism, look inward as to why you chose to write off millions of people based on race. Now, a lot of people obviously were responding to this by saying, well, am I sexist by being a heterosexual? Am I sexist against the sex that I'm not interested in, for example? And of course, he countered that by saying, no, that's totally different. But is it? When I was getting my undergrad degree, there was a guy who was in my group of friends who was strictly attracted to Asian women. Like, he could not date anybody else. He just didn't find anything else attractive. He thought Asian women were the most beautiful thing in the entire world, and he could look at a white person, a black person, it didn't matter. He just didn't feel an attraction because they weren't his type. Like I said, I knew this guy. We were like acquaintances. I never felt personally slighted in any way that he wasn't attracted to me. I mean, I really don't care. He never said anything like only Asian women deserve women's rights or anything like that, so I didn't really feel the need to be offended. I feel like we kind of live in a culture where we're walking on eggshells all the time, always, where if there is a way to interpret something that causes offense, we'll take that opportunity because it's just fun to be offended. It's fun to go online and vent. It's fun to point the finger at someone and say, you're racist. I think we kind of need to chill a little bit when it comes to this kind of thing. I mean, pick your battles. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's someone who is blatantly racist, who says, I don't think X race deserves the same rights as me, that's fucking racist. But saying, I'm not interested in taking off my clothes and engaging in sexual intercourse with X race, I mean, do we really need to be mad at that? Feeling entitled to attraction is kind of a scary concept. I mean, how far do you want to go with that? Can you break it down to an individual level too? Like, if you're not sexually attracted to me, I feel personally slighted. I feel like you're discriminating personally against me. I'm entitled for you to want to have sex with me. Do you see how that could get kind of scary? I know that I'm really narrowing it down from a very broad spectrum of race to an individual level, but that attitude overall I think is pretty unhealthy. Obviously, I believe that races deserve to have equal rights. Everyone should be treated equally. Everyone deserves the same basic respect. But does basic respect include sexual attraction? If someone said I'm not interested in white people, I'd be like, cool, guess we won't have sex then. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But like I said, I do see how you could say something in a certain way that could be interpreted as racist. Like if I ran around saying, I would never ever date X race. I'm just not, you know what? I don't even care if I'm super attracted to this person. I'm not gonna date them because they're part of this race. Now that's pretty racist. But controlling the actual element of sexual attraction is something I feel that is entirely out of our control. I don't think Tyler Oakley was trying to be malicious in his tweets or come off as super judgmental. I think he really did believe he was standing up for people that are offended by such things. Maybe he had a conversation or something where someone said something in a way that came off as racist, which prompted him to rant about this on Twitter. I just don't entirely agree, but I do see where he's coming from, so I don't want anybody to direct any hate towards him. I just thought it was something that was interesting and worth discussion. Another thing that I do want to point out that I found to be kind of interesting was whenever I posted my poll on Twitter, even though 75% of people said that they didn't feel it was racist, most of the comments replying to that tweet were saying that it was. Which leads me to conclude that people who are offended by things are way more likely to speak out against that thing, and then it might seem as though there are a lot of people against that thing, even though the majority of people are the silent majority and don't actually find that much offense to begin with. So with that said, I will encourage people, if you see something that's controversial, if you agree with it, leave a comment and let that person know that you agree with it. Otherwise, it's gonna start seeming like taking offense to stuff is the norm. I really feel like that's kind of detrimental overall to encouraging discussion, because people are literally always walking on eggshells. You can't even say what your sexual preferences are without being labeled racist or potentially even sexist. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below if you agree or disagree. Or actually just let me know what you think, because this isn't really like an agree or disagree type of video. I'm not like saying it is or isn't racist 100% of the time either way. And because I had confusion, that's why I posted that poll. That's why I'm posting this video, because I think it's an interesting conversation to have. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video if you liked it, share it everywhere. All my social media links are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the author of this article about sex negativity is a woman, because I would say probably about 90% of all of these slut shaming that I mentioned before that I experienced comes from women.